Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for stopping in today. I have a new layout and video to share for Shimmerz paints, and I'm going to be using lots of beautiful Shimmerz colors today to match this collection. And I pulled this out of my archives on my shelves. This is a Simple Stories collection called Carpe Diem from 2016, and I've used some of it over the years, but it's been a while, and so I pulled it out. I've got lots of the papers, lots of stickers, some chipboard, some die cuts, and this is my picture today. I think I might have scrapped this picture before, but I just love it so much, and I had an extra print of it, and I thought it would be pretty for the idea that I had. So the first paper that jumped out at me was this floral paper that I've already used, apparently. So I'm going to fussy cut out one of these big floral clusters, and I'm going to base my color scheme off of the colors in this floral cluster here. And so sometimes I like to start with Shimmerz colors, and then sometimes I like to pick out papers and match the colors to the papers. So that's what I did. I cut out a couple of florals. I cut out these days of the week circles, and I thought that that would be cool for my design, and instantly an idea popped into my head. And I like that this is sort of a muted take on rainbow, because you know I've been on a rainbow kick lately, and so I thought this would be a cool way to start this design. And so I want to have the days of the week going across there, and so I'm going to pick out Shimmerz to match all of those colors. So I'm going to use thick white cardstock as my background because it's my favorite when I want to use a bunch of colors, especially for Shimmerz, because I like to show you the colors true to the way they look, and a white background is the best way to do that. So I'm going to coat pretty much all of it with clear gesso and then get started. And the gesso is just going to prep the paper for all the liquids. I'm going to use a lot of sprays and a couple of Creameez, and so there's going to be a lot of liquids on the paper, and I wanted to make sure that it was ready, and you know, so the colors won't soak right through, and I want to be able to let the colors kind of run and blend together. So I'm going to distress all of these circles and pop them up with some adhesive foam right off the bat and line them up so I kind of know where they're going to go. And right away, I know that this gives me an idea. If I have the circles kind of in the halfway point of the layout, then my picture can go right on top of that. And so instantly, it kind of creates the design for me. Okay, so let's get into the colors here. What I thought I would do is, since I have the order of the days of the week there, I wanted to have matching colors of each circle kind of running below each circle, kind of like each circle got watered down and then started leaking the color. And I've got colors to match. Some of these colors I'm going to blend two colors together, and that's what I'm doing here for the green. I'm mixing two different vibes. One is Palm Reader and the other is Elfin Magic. And if I can't find a color of all the Shimmerz that I've got in my collection from over the years, if I don't have the exact color that I want, I know that I can make it by mixing a couple together. And that's what I did there. The next circle is gray, and the color I'm using is a Spritz called Granny Gray, and it has a really pretty shimmery finish to it. The Vibez and the Spritz both have shimmer when they dry. It's just the colors of the shimmery powder in the Vibez is a little bit different from the shimmer color in the Spritz. And the Vibez tend to be more vibrant when they dry. The Spritz tend to be a little more on the lighter side. And so it just depends on the look you're going for. It depends on the colors. For this particular layout, I just went for the colors. So for the Wednesday circle, it's this really deep aqua color, and I'm using Boogie Boardin Blue, which is a Creameez, and you can see there it's in the little pot. It's a very, very concentrated, bold color, so I watered it down quite a bit to lighten it up, which is always a choice for all the Shimmerz. You know, the more water you add, the lighter it's going to get. The more layers you add of that color, the darker it's going to get. And that's the beauty of these colors, is you can take one color and make it look several different ways, just depending on how much you put into it or how much water you add to dilute it. This color here for the Thursday circle is a spray. It's a Spritz called Caribbean Sunset, and it was the perfect match. And you can kind of see here that I'm adding a lot of water, and each color is going to run and blend. It's not going to come just straight down because the paper is going to start to buckle a little bit, and that's going to affect where the color runs and pulls up. So I expected that, and I think that it winds up looking really pretty because the colors kind of blend together side by side. This is another spritz called Cotton Candy, and it's pretty light because I did add water to it, so I keep adding a couple of sprays to it. And sorry about the glare there. I had moved my layout over to the side so I could put that piece of plastic there to the left, and every time I use plastic as a base like that to mix paint, it reflects off of my lights, and so I kind of shifted that so it wouldn't reflect really bright, and now it's reflecting off of the wet paint, so hopefully that will change here in just a second. Okay, so the Saturday circle is more of a yellow color, so this is a Vibez called Glorious Day, and it's very, very pretty. It's like a golden yellow color. It matches that circle perfectly. And then the last one is a minty green color, and this is another Creameez called Refresh Mint. There we go. So now I can move it back over. But yeah, things are still really wet, and I'm going to wind up adding a couple of layers of some of these colors because you can see the gray, it dried really light because it's a spritz. And like I said, the spritz tend to dry light, and I did add water. If I wouldn't have added water to it, it would have dried a lot darker. You can see there when I spray it right out of the bottle that it's quite a bit darker. So I'm just going to work with each area here, and I don't want it to be to where it blends too much into the next color. Like I don't want the gray to completely cover the blue section. So I'm going to kind of dab some of it up, and you can kind of see what I've got going there. I think that looks really pretty, and I like that. And so basically the bottom half of my layout is dictated. It's already done. You know, I don't have to do a lot of thinking. And that's what I love about layouts like this. If you can come up with one big thing in the beginning, it can pretty much just make the layout come together a lot easier, and I automatically have a place for my picture. I can put my picture underneath, but I don't want to do that because it's going to cover up all of that watercolor. So I'm going to set my photo kind of on top of the circles. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. Hopefully they're straight line. This is an instance where I want something to be straight. A lot of times I want things crooked on purpose, but I want the circles to kind of act as a shelf for the picture. So I do pull out my ruler there to make sure they're lined up. So okay, that dried. I really like how that's looking. You can see all the different colors there. So I'm going to start to work on building the photo layers, and I almost went through all the pattern papers and added several layers behind the picture, but in the end I'm going to wind up using more of the shimmers to act as a layer behind the picture. And I kind of want to tuck the bottom of the photo underneath the tops of the circles. I'm going to layer those two big floral clusters over on the right side of the picture because there's a lot of open space of just the pool. And since my daughter is looking to the left, that's why I situated the photo on the right, because I like to have the subject's face on the opposite side of where they're looking. So it's going to look like she's kind of looking to those to the flowers. So here's what I decided to do in lieu of adding paper layers. I'm going to go back to that cotton candy spritz. I traced a little bit of a soft line around the edge of the photo so I know where it's going to be. And then I'm just going to lightly use my brush to spread some of the pink around. I went through all the colors and thought, which color should I use to go around the edge? And I didn't want to do all the colors because that would have been just too much. So I decided on the pink because I love pink and I felt like it would look the best. So that's what I chose. Just kind of making this a light border. And you can see how it's easy to dab it up because of the gesso. So nothing is really permanent until it's dry for a while. So the more I add, the more I'm able to move it around and spread it around a little bit. And so it just has these soft, hazy edges, you know. Whereas if I would not have used gesso, wherever the ink hits, it's going to just instantly soak right through the page. And that's what it's going to look like. You know, there's not going to be any spreading around or making it look like it's kind of faded out as it goes away from the picture, if that makes any sense. And I've got some die cuts set off to the side that I'm going to play around with as I go. But here it is dry. I like how that looks. It's really soft and really subtle, but it's going to be visible around the edges of the picture when it's attached. So you can kind of see there what I was going for. I'm going to put all the things together so far that I have. The flowers that I fussy cut, I like that Dream Big cloud up at the top. And like I said, I used to be on the Simple Stories design team for 1 year in 2016. And so I have several of the collections. And I think I have quite a bit left of this collection. I've got the stickers. I think there were two sheets of each of the sticker sheets here. And I just kind of went through and picked out things that matched. This was a pretty general collection where there was a little bit of everything for any type of layout. There were feathers, there were hearts, flowers, animals, things like arrows, stars. Just one of those great collections that you could use for pretty much anything. So there was a lot to sort through and a lot to pick out, and I wanted to capitalize on the days of the week, and I was thinking along the lines of Carpe Diem, seize the day, because that was the name of this collection. And so I thought, well, the days of the week are cool. I like that. So I'm going to try to add in more sentiments and a title that kind of connects with, embrace today, every day, today, that type of thing. I'm going to add a couple more floral stickers in. I've got one from the sticker sheet there. And then I really like these feathers. I don't even know why. At first I thought, do I want to use these? They're matching, they're cute, but do they make sense? So I put them aside, pulled out these black clear stickers, which are fantastic. This one's going to go right onto the photo. It's very subtle. It says "So Lucky." I love the clear stickers like that because they look like stamps. And speaking of stamps, I just ordered myself my first set of Carrie Bradford Alpha stamps. I saw somebody on Instagram who had these. I can't even remember who it was, but I thought, oh my gosh, I must have those. And so I went and I ordered them, and they came in, and they're so big and chunky, and they're awesome. So I thought they're going to be used on this layout in some way, shape, or form. And at first I wanted to create the word everyday, but it was so big, I just decided to stamp today. And I'm going to get crazy and almost risk ruining this page by stamping freehand onto the background. And I don't even know why I started with the O. I think I was trying to, if you look at the T and the D, they have the tall parts, and I didn't want the tall parts to be underneath a circle. And then I realized that I couldn't really avoid that. But do you see how I had to fold up the Saturday circle to get the D stamped down? But I was so proud of myself that I stamped that straight, and it turned out so cool. I love how that looks. Oh my goodness. I used black Stays-On ink for that, and I was pleasantly surprised that I stamped it straight and I didn't mess it up. So yay for me for that, because you know how random stamping goes. 9 times out of 10, for me anyway, it either doesn't stamp right, I press it too hard, or I don't get enough ink on the stamp, or it just gets messed up. But I really like those alphas. Yeah, those are from Carrie Bradford's studio. I'm just gluing some things down. I'm going to go ahead and glue the photo down. I added some yellow thread over to the left because there's really not a lot of yellow right there. There's some blue and pink flowers, but I wanted a little bit of more pop of yellow there. So that's why I added the yellow thread over there. And this is coming together pretty quickly. Now that the bulk of the page is done, it's going to be small things. I don't want to cover up a lot of the bottom half. I've already talked about that because obviously that's where all the beautiful watercolor is. So I'm going to work on adding some things maybe around the photo, and I don't feel like a lot more is needed. Oh, there's Paige. I can see her hair. She was giving me kisses. I don't know if you noticed that right quick, but almost every layout I make nowadays, she has to come in and visit. I'm going to add some small stickers and things to the left. I'm going to add that hello because I just kept looking at it and thought it was really cute. This is what I've got so far. I think it's pretty. I love the colors. So I still consider this a rainbow layout, even though the colors are muted and they're not in rainbow order, which I actually like. It's fun to mix it up sometimes. We're going to do some pink thread over to the right. And I didn't want to add a huge bunch of stuff to the right of the picture since there's a heavy bunch of stuff over on the left. So I wanted to go just small and, inconspicuous on the right. So we're doing a little flower cluster, a little pop of thread, and then a couple heart stickers, and that is it, because I wanted the main thing to be over on the left. Okay, so here's what I did. I did like the feathers, but the die cut feathers were huge. And then I saw the same feathers on the sticker sheet, but they were so, I don't know how to describe it. That's me blowing dry the gesso that I'm smudging down. I wanted to fade them out a little bit. They were just so bright, almost cartoonish, which is fine, but the colors were almost too vibrant for what I was going for. So I thought, gesso to the rescue, let's soften them up. So I just scrubbed a little bit over the feathers there with my fingers, and I had to let a couple of coats dry because those stickers are slick. And so I thought, okay, where are these going to go? Are they going to kind of cascade down from the title? Didn't like that. No, that just looks kind of random. So I moved them up here, and I like them better, but I'm still on the fence. So while I tried to decide about the feathers, I came back in and added Carpe Diem on my page. I wanted those words on the layout since that's what kind of inspired me with this collection. And I wanted them to be small, lowercase black alphas, so I pulled out this sticker sheet of Bella Boulevard alphas from my stash. And I do wind up gluing those down because they're pretty old and nothing ever sticks to gesso. So I'm going to glue those down. I figured out what was bugging me about the feathers. It was the white border around them. Look at the difference that it makes when I trim that off. They just seem to work better. So I like the way they look here. So I'm going to kind of have them cascading down from some of the circles. And then I found this in the 6x6 paper pad. It's another set of the feathers, but they're tiny and they're so cute. So I'm going to cut those out and then work those into the cascade of feathers as well. And then I added a couple more smaller fussy cut flowers down there too. And so it's going to kind of wind up being another little cluster down there. And I hadn't even planned on adding a cluster down at the bottom. I knew I wanted to add something, but the feathers just sort of happened. And I don't know, doesn't really go with flowers, but this is a case of I liked the way it looked, so I just went with it. It matched and it added some interest to the bottom, but I didn't want to add too much more because, like I said, I don't want to cover up all that watercolor. But I actually had a bit more of the Caribbean sunset color than any of the other colors, and so I felt like if a little bit of that color got covered up, it was okay because it was still more of it showing, and I didn't want to leave the whole thing completely blank. So I'm going to pop most of these feathers up with some adhesive foam to give them some dimension and some interest, and then add a little bit of thread down there. I'm coming back in with the yellow because I felt like there wasn't a lot of yellow again in that section. And I like how that's looking. I'm going to make sure all of that gets glued down pretty quick because if I move it around, I'll never get it back like I have it now. And I like the way the flowers are kind of opening up to the sea in Carpe Diem, kind of framing it a little bit, I guess. I do add a couple of stickers. I go with hearts. I find some heart stickers on this sticker sheet in matching colors. Add a pink one, a green one, because I don't really have a lot of other green stuff other than the leaves and the Monday circle. So add a couple of stickers. I found this little yellow sticker that says happiness, which I'm going to pop up. And I like the way it fit kind of under the title right there. And then I decide to try this sticker here. It says this is the good stuff. I don't like the way it looks there. This is bigger than the rest of it, and because I cut it, because on the sticker sheet it was vertical, but I didn't want it to be vertical. I just wound up using good stuff, and I put that up at the top there just as a little detail. It looks like a stamp. And then I add this one. It's a circle that says today. I thought I wanted to add some little tiny black bits around since I have the black and white photo and the title is black. And so I found all these little tiny hearts on the sticker sheet and I added those in, but I didn't like it. I don't know. It just bugged me. So I pulled those up and went with a couple of color chipboard hearts. I did leave the little black heart over on the left by the hello. But yeah, all the other ones around just, I don't know, it didn't look right. So I took those off and I like the way it looks better. Almost done here. Added in my pencil lines for my journaling, and I'm using a black fine tip Sharpie at the bottom there for my journaling. And then I add the date off camera underneath my journaling. But anyway, that is it. That's the final layout. And I was really excited to pick a collection first and then dig through my shimmers to find matching colors. I like doing that sometimes, and you come up with some really interesting color schemes. And I encourage you to mix and match your shimmers colors to come up with new colors, like I did with the green, and it matches perfectly. I think that's a fun little challenge to do. If you don't have the exact color you want, mix and match a few to get the color that you want. But I hope this inspires you, and let me know if you have any questions. Make sure you check out the Shimmerz store. There's going to be some new stuff coming in August that you want to check out, hint hint. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you in my next video. I got more close-ups coming, so until next time, have a great day.